Hello and welcome to the Spring 22 edition of Education Matters. I'm Kim Root and I'm here today with Dr. Paul Salah, Superintendent of Huron Valley Schools. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Kim. Good morning. It's good to be with you on this fine Monday morning.
Thank you. I know this time of year is very busy. There's a lot going on in our schools, but let's talk first about school safety and what Huron Valley Schools has been doing over the last few months.
Thank you, Kim. Great question. I think important points to touch on as it relates to school safety. First and foremost, Huron Valley doesn't wait for some sort of a tragedy or major event in order to be prepared. I just want our listening audience out there to know that school safety is something that's always front of mind for us, and we're always preparing our students and our staff adequately. The recent tragic events that occurred in Oxford obviously kind of put the exclamation point on the importance of school safety. And we, of course, have used that opportunity to reflect on our current practices. And that's included 2 trainings at each building since, and Kim, you know that very well, right? Because you've led and facilitated those trainings. We also felt it was prudent not only to sort of look at our own practices internally and say, hey, yeah, we think we're doing a great job. Because oftentimes when you're on the inside and you're responsible for the design and implementation of systems that create that safety, you may not know what you don't know. And it's important to tap the experts in the field. And so, in partnership with our Board of Education, we did hire Recon Management LLC. And Recon has been doing high-level interviews with many of our central office staff in order to know what systems we have in place, what technologies we have in place. And then, they've taken this sort of interesting approach of observing and walking through every one of our facilities, looking at our visitor management protocols, looking at just the way with which we conduct our operation, from do we leave doors propped open, and as a result of that work, we are going to receive some recommendations from Recon Management regarding how we might improve our already, I feel, strong practices.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I know there's also a lot of work going on right now regarding social emotional learning and social emotional health for our students and staff. Tell us a little bit about that, if you will.
Yeah, I appreciate you raising that, because nationally there's a phenomenon where we're seeing not only children but adults who are really struggling with mental health and just the isolation that the pandemic caused for many folks. And really, our focus obviously is on our student body population. So at the beginning of this school year, our board president, Mr. Carlson, put together an initiative that he calls the Huron Valley Task Force. And we've been tackling 3 major questions. And the first question that we've really spent the lion's share of our time discussing in this task force is around social emotional learning. The second is around knowledge gaps that might exist as a result of being in different platforms and having to pause at certain times. And then the third question is, how do we prepare students for the new economy? The lion's share of our time this year has been spent on social emotional learning and how we meet the needs of our student population. And that task force includes parents, it includes teachers, it includes administrators. It's really a nice cross-representation of our stakeholder groups. And so from that, we have been able to glean some high-level themes regarding how we might support our student population. And there's 2 things I would mention right now for our listening audience, things that are directly as a result of that task force. One, we've hired an additional behavior interventionist in the school district. And this interventionist is going to be primarily focused at the elementary level. That's where we tend to see the most challenges with students struggling with self-regulation and really just knowing how to do school in general. And we've asked this interventionist to actually develop what we call modules for professional learning, so that not only will this one person be able to lend support to the district, but that person's expertise can then be multiplied by developing modules that our staff will actually spend time learning, so that they will be prepared in their buildings individually to tackle some of the behavioral challenges, some of these social emotional struggles that some of our students might be experiencing. And so that's one thing that emerged from the task force. Another is we've put together a spring parent night. One of the things we heard from our parents in particular as a result of the task force is parents need support to know how to help their children, because they are not quite sure how to help their children be successful. And there are some really powerful resources out there. We'll have a keynote speaker. We'll have breakout sessions. We'll also have some vendors available that will be able to provide resources and information for families that are interested in that. And that is April 21st.
Excellent,
Yeah.
thank you. A couple of real tangible outcomes there
Absolutely.
From the task force.
Yeah.
Shifting gears, let's talk about, the weather's warming up. Obviously, we got to now see shovels going
Yeah.
into the ground.
Yeah.
If you can, talk about the bond projects that are going on and how that will impact what our community will see over the next several months.
Yeah, it's just awesome to see progress, right? And it's just I love driving by, Kurtz or Bogey Lake. There are all the big the pipes that will be going underground to run fresh, clean water to our Bogey Lake campus. We won't be dependent upon well water any longer. We'll be on township water here on the Bogey Lake campus. If you drive by Heritage or Country Oaks, Apollo Center, I already mentioned Kurtz or Spring Mills, you're going to see progress. You're going to see heavy machinery. You're going to see steel. You're going to see equipment designed to further enhance the safety and security of our buildings with the updated secure entries. And it's just exciting and invigorating to see the momentum in our school district. It is long overdue. I can't tell you enough how grateful I am to our taxpayers. The investment in our schools is an investment in our community. It's an investment in our homes and our real estate. It's an investment in our businesses. We all thrive when we have successful schools, because when a child walks into a building and the lighting has been improved, that just changes somebody's mood, and it changes their ability to learn in a successful way. So we're able to do that and so much more, from audio enhancement to, I've already mentioned the safety and security upgrades, to additional technology. I mean, it is remarkable to think that in just a few short years, every child in the Huron Valley Schools is going to have access to a Chromebook that they can use every single day. They'll be able to access the curriculum online every single day. And that is just phenomenal. And it is just moving us, as a competitor, not only in Oakland County, but in the state of Michigan. And again, it's all due to the taxpayers. And I'm just grateful that we were able to do that at a zero tax rate increase. And I'm just gonna take a moment to make a shameless plug. That's our goal as a school district, is not to go to our taxpayers and ask for an increase. We recognize that that's been challenging in the past, and so we just want to ask our taxpayers, please just continue to support your schools when we come back out in the future, because we intend to do that at zero tax rate increases. So, thank you.
And that's very responsible, I think, on the part of the school district, just recognizing that that's really where our community is, willing to support our schools, but at a zero tax rate increase is important for homeowners and taxpayers. So,
and we can never let our buildings get back to where they were.
Correct.
I mean, our buildings were frankly in really tough shape from an infrastructure perspective. We had to upgrade everything to code, and again, if nothing else, let's just keep our kids safe and our staff safe. And you do that by investing in your buildings and maintaining them and keeping them up to snuff.
Right, and anybody who's ever owned a home
Yeah.
knows that that's the case. You
Yeah.
can't do, you can't have a home and not reinvest in that home.
Right.
And our school buildings are the same. So,
Absolutely.
thank you. Anything you want to add? Anything that I didn't ask you that you think I should have?
No, I mean, we're heading into, one of the most exciting times of the school year. We have spring break coming up here shortly. But then we move into all the celebrations where we have an opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of our students. And so for those of you out there, I just want to encourage you, be a part of those festivities, even if it's just saying congratulations to one of our graduates. They've lived through a point in history that we shall not soon forget. Global pandemic comes around every 100 years or so. But it has left an imprint on our students, our staff, and I think anyone who's out there that's watching this right now can reflect upon their own personal lives and identify how it's personally impacted them. And so just think about that from a young person's perspective. I'm certain that will influence people's thinking and their work ethic and their agility and their flexibility as they move into the future. So I wish you all well. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season as we come up here to the holiday season. And thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in.
And thank you for watching Education Matters. Until next time.